Meta description: is Jungkook truly happy behind his smile, or is there a silent reality the world refuses to acknowledge? What lies beneath the fame, the pressure, and the image? Stay with us, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as we uncover the truth no one dares to talk about. What if the smile you've trusted for years was never the full story? What if behind every flawless performance, every bright expression, and every moment that made millions fall in love with Jungkook, there existed a quiet reality that no stage light could fully reveal? Before you move on, ask yourself this: are we truly seeing him, or only the version the world wants us to see? From the very beginning, Jungkook was never just another name in the industry. He was labeled extraordinary early on, shaped into the idea of perfection before he had the time to fully understand what that meant. The title Golden Maknae was not simply a compliment. It was a standard, an expectation, and over time, a weight that quietly followed him everywhere. The world celebrated his talent, his discipline, his growth, but rarely paused to consider what it meant to carry all of that at such a young age. Fame, when seen from the outside, often looks like a dream fulfilled. It sparkles with opportunity, recognition, and admiration. But inside that dream, there is a structure that demands consistency, resilience, and often, silence. For Jungkook, fame did not arrive gradually. It surged, expanded, and consumed every aspect of his life. His days became structured around performance, his image became a global conversation, and his identity began to intertwine with expectations that extended far beyond himself. There is a subtle shift that happens when a person becomes a symbol. They are no longer just themselves, they become a reflection of what others need them to be. For Jungkook, this meant embodying excellence, reliability, and emotional connection for millions of people who looked up to him. It is a powerful position, but it is also a complex one. Because in becoming everything for everyone, the question arises: where does the individual begin, and where does the image end? The pressure of maintaining such a position is rarely visible in its entirety. It does not always appear as dramatic struggle or obvious exhaustion. Sometimes, it exists in quieter forms. It shows up in the careful choice of words, in the measured responses during interviews, in the consistent effort to meet expectations that are constantly evolving. It is a pressure that adapts, that grows, that becomes part of the rhythm of everyday life. And yet, within that rhythm, there are moments that feel out of place, moments that hint at something deeper. A pause that lasts just a second too long, a reflection that carries more weight than usual, a glimpse of vulnerability that quickly disappears. These are not accidents. They are fragments of a reality that cannot always be fully expressed. Jungkook's journey is often told as a story of success, and it is, undeniably. But it is also a story of adaptation, of learning to exist within a system that demands both visibility and restraint. He is seen everywhere, yet not always understood. He is heard constantly, yet not always fully listened to. This paradox is one of the defining aspects of his experience. Another layer of this reality lies in the relationship between Jungkook and the people who support him. Fans play a significant role in shaping the narrative around him. Their love, their dedication, their unwavering support create a powerful connection that transcends distance and culture. But even within that connection, there are complexities. Expectations, even when rooted in admiration, can become another form of pressure. To be loved by millions is extraordinary, but it also comes with an unspoken responsibility. To remain consistent, to meet expectations, to not disappoint. Over time, this responsibility can influence decisions, behaviors, and even emotions. It creates a dynamic where personal feelings may sometimes be set aside in favor of maintaining a certain image or fulfilling a perceived duty. This is where the concept of reality becomes important. What is real for Jungkook is not always what is visible to the public. His experiences, his thoughts, his internal struggles, these exist beyond the frame of cameras and beyond the reach of headlines. They are part of a personal narrative that is often only partially shared. There is also the question of growth. Jungkook is not the same person he was years ago, and yet, parts of his image remain tied to earlier versions of himself. Growth, in a public space, is both observed and resisted. Changes are noticed, but they are not always accepted easily. This can create a tension between who he is becoming and who the world expects him to remain. And then there is the emotional aspect, the part that resonates most deeply yet is often the least visible. Emotions do not disappear in the presence of fame, they evolve. Joy becomes more complex, pride is accompanied by pressure, and moments of doubt can feel amplified by the awareness of being constantly observed. For Jungkook, navigating these emotions requires a level of strength that goes beyond performance. There are times when he has hinted at these feelings, moments where the polished exterior softens just enough to reveal something more genuine. These moments are not dramatic revelations, but they are meaningful. They remind us that behind the global icon is a person who experiences uncertainty, who reflects, who questions. So why do these silent facts matter? Because they challenge the simplicity of the narrative. They remind us that success is not a singular experience, that it is layered with both visible achievements and invisible challenges. They encourage a more nuanced understanding, one that goes beyond admiration and moves toward empathy. As this story unfolds, it becomes clear that Jungkook's smile is not a contradiction to his reality, but a part of it. It is genuine, but it is also shaped by experience. It reflects joy, but it can also coexist with pressure. It is both a connection to the world and, at times, a shield. The deeper question, then, is not whether the smile is real, but what it represents. Is it a moment of happiness, a gesture of reassurance, a response to expectation, or all of these at once? The answer is not simple, and perhaps it is not meant to be. What matters is the recognition that behind every image, every performance, and every moment shared with the world, there is a reality that is more complex than it appears. A reality that includes both light and shadow, both strength and vulnerability. And now, as you reflect on everything you have just read, consider this. If the world began to see Jungkook not just as an idol, but as a human being navigating an extraordinary life, would it change the way we watch, the way we listen, and the way we support him? If this made you question what you thought you knew, don't stay silent. Share your thoughts, leave a comment, and be part of the conversation. Because sometimes, the most important stories are not the ones we see, but the ones we are willing to understand. The conversation does not end there, and perhaps it never truly will. Because the more you look at the life of Jungkook through a lens that goes beyond admiration, the more layers begin to unfold, quietly but persistently, like a story that was never meant to be understood in a single glance. And here is where another unsettling question begins to surface. What happens when someone becomes so used to being seen that they no longer know how to exist without being watched? There is a certain kind of silence that does not come from absence, but from restraint. It is the silence of thoughts that remain unspoken, of emotions that are carefully managed, of truths that are understood internally but rarely expressed outwardly. For Jungkook, this silence is not necessarily imposed from the outside. Over time, it can become internalized, shaped by years of navigating a world where every word can echo far beyond its original intention. Think about the concept of control. Not control in the sense of authority, but control over perception, over narrative, over how one is understood by millions of people who may never truly know you. This kind of control requires constant awareness. It demands a balance between authenticity and responsibility, between expression and caution. And while it can create a polished image, it can also create distance, a subtle separation between what is felt and what is shown. This distance is not always visible, but it can be felt in certain moments. It can be sensed in the way answers are framed, in the way emotions are conveyed, in the way certain topics are approached with careful consideration. It is not deception, it is adaptation. It is the result of existing in an environment where vulnerability is both powerful and risky at the same time. And yet, even within this carefully maintained balance, there are moments where something more genuine breaks through. Moments that are not planned, not curated, not filtered.